And one Asian nation is of particular interest in this story: China. It is no secret that China has leaned towards Russia in this conflict. Beijing is like a silent partner for Moscow. It has condemned the Western sanctions. It has opposed the actions of the West and amplified Russia's message through state mouthpieces. But now China is changing its mind. Initially, it backed Russia. Beijing practically dictated when the invasion should begin. That's what Western intelligence claims. They say Russia asked China to delay this offensive. The request was made in February, we're told, during the Winter Olympics. And if that is true, it would mean that China had direct knowledge of Russia's intentions. And China did not ask Russia to stop. They asked it to delay the attack, wait until after the games are over. Again, these are claims, and they're not new. Many reports had predicted an invasion after the game so that the war does not overshadow Xi Jinping's big moment. Vladimir Putin was perhaps the most high-profile guest for the Winter Games. He met with Chinese President Xi Jinping. A statement followed. Beijing offered its full support to Moscow. It declared the China-Russia partnership had quote-unquote no limits. The statement was loud and clear. China had blessed Russian military actions in Ukraine. That's what it meant then. But Beijing now seems to be regretting that decision. 5 developments indicate that China has had a rethink. Number 1, Chinese banks have restricted financing for Russian commodities. This decision was taken on the second day of the invasion. 2 state-owned banks have imposed curbs: the Bank of China and the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China. They have refused to offer financing to buy Russian exports. Russian coal suppliers have been affected. Chinese power plants and steel makers are now looking for other suppliers. Seems like the sanctions have forced China to cut back on their dealings with Russia. China is also pulling back diplomatic support, and that's development number 2. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi has signaled a shift. A statement came out of Beijing last week. This is after Wang Yi spoke to European and French officials. They discussed Ukraine. Instead of supporting Russian military actions this time, China suddenly called for peace. It called for de-escalation and a negotiated truce between Ukraine and Russia. Then the Chinese president called up Vladimir Putin. He asked him to negotiate with Ukraine, and this happened 6 days ago. So far, the Russian president seems to have not paid heed to that advice. Beijing sent more signals to Moscow. Development number 3. At the Security Council, it refused to use its veto power. It chose to abstain when an anti-Russia resolution came up. Moscow ended up killing the resolution with its veto power, but the lack of Chinese support embarrassed Russia. Reports say the vote on this resolution was delayed for 2 hours. Why? Because the United States was negotiating with China. America did not get China's support for the resolution, but it did manage to get Beijing to abstain. And more embarrassment, by the way, was in store for Moscow. Development number 4, China is now openly criticizing the Russian invasion. On the 28th of February, a statement was issued by the Chinese Foreign Ministry. Allow me to read that for you. This is what the Chinese statement says. No country should unscrupulously damage other countries' sovereignty and security in the pursuit of its own absolutely military advantage and absolute security. China is following up those words with actions. Development number 5, Beijing is not helping Moscow. No assistance so far to evade Western sanctions. China could have helped. It has its own financial systems that can push through Russian transactions. But for now, China is not giving any lifelines to Russia. It seems like the China-Russia partnership does have its limits after all. What made Beijing change its mind? Why has China withdrawn support to Russia? It has not offered any explanation, but that's besides the point right now. The headline is, China is not completely in Russia's camp. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.